see that bastard again. There's still so much I want to... What in the seven hells are you all looking at? This is a training hall. Why aren't you all training right now? You think all it takes to stand on the blood sands is a sword and a stupid grin? No, it takes years of hard work, an ocean of blood and sweat, and an unbreakable will. Every man and woman here has the potential to become a champion, but it's you and you alone who decides your destiny. So answer me now, gladiators. Will you follow in the footsteps of your brothers and sisters and inscribe your names in legend? So anyway, that's the gladiator questline. Mila and Aldous are stupid about each other. It's cute. It's a decently compelling story. Whatever. Now, I won't have time to finish this, but we'll start it. It's the Heavensward part that is especially stupid, but, Oh, there you are, Evan. Perfect timing. I've just heard a juicy bit of gossip that I know you're going to be interested in. Apparently, and remember, you heard this from me, the Sultan Sworn Elite are sharing the secret skills and training of paladins. Incredible, I know. The Sultan Sworn have an exclusive monopoly on the instruction of paladin skills. Once upon a time, if you weren't one of those officer track elites, then you had no chance to learn the arts. And competition to get to the top was very fierce indeed, let me tell you. But anyone who joined had to swear an oath of fealty to the Ul'dah Sultanate, which meant no more adventuring, no more daring-do, and no more Colosseum, just languishing about in the palace all day polishing plate mail. That's why this news is so big. Now anyone with a bit of commitment can learn the skills of a paladin, and no memorizing the 55 commandments of the Sworn or any other nonsense either. This is a platinum opportunity that comes but once in a lucky adventurer's lifetime. Let this slip through your fingers and regret will be your just desserts. You need to go to the Royal Promenade in the Hustings Strip. Find the captain of the Sultan Sworn Elite, Genlins is his name, and tell him how you're just dying to become a paladin. The paladin questline is so stupid. It starts boring and just goes downhill. Yes, I'm Genlins, member of the Sultan Sworn Elite and servant to the Ul'dah Sultanate. Unless my instincts deceive me, you've come to inquire about training as a paladin. If so, I would have your name, good sir. Evan, a fine name. I bid you welcome and salute your noble resolve, but if you aspire to paladinhood, you should understand what it means. A paladin swears allegiance to the Sultanate. A paladin shall be the sword and shield of the Sultanate. A paladin defends the people of the realm. Sellswords and gladiators and others of their ilk wield their blades for themselves, but a paladin serves the greater good. Do you understand me? The battle arts that the paladin learns have been held secret, nurtured, and perfected within the ranks of the Sultan Sworn Elite for nigh on 600 years. Of all those sworn to protect the Sultanate, the soldiers, the mounted guards, and the knights, we are the elite of the elite. Our conviction unwavering, our hearts true, our swords skills without peer. But the glory of the Sultan Sworn, well, much of it is buried in the past now. Our brotherhood grows smaller by the year. We are a shadow of what we once were, and the Sultana turns to sellswords to defend her palace. All this because of one traitor. No, because of a blot of dishonor left by one who shall not be named. And because of him, we've been forced to seek the help of able-bodied adventurers. Oh my god, Wraith, it's so dumb in Heavensward. I will finish this out on stream just so you can see how dumb it is. And here you are. We shall instruct you in the paladin military arts. You will not be inducted into the Sultan Sworn, but serve as a free paladin. However, first you will show us that both your sword and heart have metal, and you are worthy of the honor. In the ruins to the south of Little Alamigo you will find an iron brazier. Light it, and the undead nearby will be drawn to the flame. Slay these monsters and give their hearts to the fire. Return and present to me their ashes as proof of your deed. Now, would-be paladin, show me the metal in your heart and the steel in your blade. Like, I enjoy Paladin a lot. I enjoy the gameplay, I enjoy the aesthetic somewhat. I don't do the the full plate armor, but like I enjoy the whole Paladin vibe. They just didn't do the holy Paladin thing. So it gets very silly. Like, they didn't know what to do with it. It's so strange. Anyone else? Yep. If you are in this place searching for the undead, then you must be a petitioner seeking the secrets of the Paladin arts. But make no mistake, simply learning Paladin swordplay does not make you a Paladin, nor does the armor you wear, or the status you claim. I'm just another aging free Paladin, but you would do well to heed my counsel. Strike off the shackles that bind your spirit, lift the visor that blinds, and find the true path of the Paladin. Here, you'll be returning to the captain, yes? Then give him this crystal. The way you use that sword reminds me of a man I used to know. Mine eyes may be old, but they can see the truth well enough. Be a paladin strong and true. Devote yourself to the way and become a beacon of light. And then after I finish the paladin quests for you all, we'll do a palate cleanser and I will show you all the Dark Knight quests, which are very worth doing. Face the undead monsters who infest the ruins south of Little Alamigo and southern Thanalan. Defeat them and return with proof of your deed. There we go. Dark Knight is... It's not only... Like, obviously I haven't done every job, or anywhere close to it, but I've heard people say it's the best in the game, and having played only a handful of others, it's the best in the game, and I think everyone should play the Dark Knight questline. I think it's a thing that everyone should do. Yeah, and like, so up to 50 is good. And I know that means you got to the reveal of like who and what Frey is, which is phenomenal, and I love that. The Heavensward quests are a completely different, very good thing. The Stormblood quests are another completely different, very good thing. And even the Stinger at 80 was like a punch in the gut. They're all so good. So we'll do that after we get through the incredibly stupid quest line that is the Paladins. Yeah, that's what I needed. Proof that you have defeated the undead. You've shown that your heart is true and your sword has metal. No doubt you will prove to be an attentive pupil. That is well, for there is much to learn. First and foremost is this. You are a paladin now, a custodian of traditions ancient and noble. A free paladin has no master. Instead, he travels all lands, and in every place takes up the cause of the unarmed and defenseless. You swear fealty not to a lord, but to yourself. You are nobility amongst adventurers. You've taken your first steps on a new path, and you have earned the right to bear this, the soul of the paladin. Upon its surface are carved the deeds of paladins of eras past. He who bears it commands the respect of all knights of honor. Bahamut's Fang, you already possess a crystal? And you say it was given to you by an unknown free paladin who told you to hand it to me? Where is this crystal of which you speak? I demand you show it to me at once. Curse him. He's made a mockery of the trial. That crystal you bear is indeed the soul of a paladin, but it is disgraced, impure. It was stolen from the Sultan Sworn. The man who gave you this soul is the very traitor whom I have been seeking these many moons. He is an oath-breaker who bent the knee to the Uldan Sultanate and who swore allegiance to the Sultan Sworn, but then single-handedly sullied our name and trampled it underfoot until it was lost, perhaps forever. How dare he give counsel on honor, on the paladin way? This soul is polluted, and I must dispose of it. When you come to wield your sword as a paladin, the only soul you may wear is that which is bestowed by a captain of the Sultan Sworn. This traitor is no Sultan Sworn, still less a captain. By giving you a soul, he insulted not only the Brotherhood, but you as well. Perhaps an adventurer like yourself finds our rules nothing more than a nuisance, but through reigns long and short, our forebears in the Sultan Sworn have preserved its rituals and traditions, and we are duty-bound to uphold them, even if men and women within our own ranks scorn them as relics. It has been my fate to be named captain of the Sultan Sworn in these troubled times. Though I did not ask for this honor, I have bent my knee to the Sultana and sworn fealty, and I will fight to restore our honor and name. You wield a skilled blade, and more importantly, you have met the traitor face to face. Your great task as a paladin will be to help me bring him to justice. You must ready yourself. Marshal your resources and hone your skills until the time comes when you are able to discharge your duty. The journey will be long, but you are a paladin now, and honor binds you as surely as an oath. So yeah, at this point, it's just like, okay, this is not something I am invested in, right? Okay. Now. We'll do a few more before we end tonight. You've earned the right to call yourself a paladin, but how do others treat you? Do they recognize you for what you are? Remember that fancy swordplay and well-polished armor do not make you a paladin. You must be just in your heart and strive always to be an exemplar of true virtue. Once, not so long ago, the Sultan Sworn could walk the streets with their heads held high. When they marched by, the small folk would look upon them with reverence and gratitude. And no one was more respected than the captain, my predecessor. When I first saw him, I was still a child. My father had promised to take me to a local festival, but somewhere he took a wrong turn. We became lost and stumbled into a secluded back alley. Luck was not with us, because the next moment we found ourselves in the middle of a riot. Drunken hunters were firing arrows into the crowd, and we were caught between them. There was no way out. It was only a matter of time before we would be struck. That's when the captain saved us from our plight. I'd never seen a sword move so swiftly. It flashed faster than my eyes could follow, and in seconds the hunters were on the ground fleeing for their lives. The captain was gone down the street, slicing at their heels, before my father had time to thank him. Even today I can see the captain he was then, blood on his sword, armor impossibly bright in the sun. After that, all I ever wanted was to be a paladin. I would practice endlessly with my sword, dreaming of bandits defeated and monsters slain. Even after I became one of the Sultan Sworn, the memory of the captain still inspired me. I was always the first to arrive in the training yard and the last to leave. And so the years passed, and before I knew it, I found myself named captain of the Sultan Sworn. Yet the triumph was hollow, because by then, the honor of the Sultan Sworn elite, the very thing that had drawn me to the Brotherhood, was a mere vestige, like the discarded banner of a defeated foe. There were many reasons for the fall, but the loss of Oathkeeper, yes, that was the mortal blow. The sword Oathkeeper was bestowed upon the first captain of the Sultan Sworn by the then Sultan of Ulda. In time, it became our standard, the symbol of the oaths we had sworn, and it was treasured by each new captain for generations. Possession was proof of Sultan Sworn command. But then the unthinkable came to pass. Oathkeeper was stolen by the traitor. It shook our brotherhood to the core. How could we be trusted to protect the Sultana if we cannot even hold on to the symbol of our fealty? We've been tarnished, and in the eyes of the ruler and ruled alike. If the Sultan Sworn are to survive, we must find the traitor and recover Oathkeeper. But the Sultan Sworn have grown too weak, and we cannot do it ourselves. We've been forced to recruit outsiders to help us in our cause. I have high hopes for you, my friend. It's a great thing that we ask, and you must learn more of our secrets if you are to succeed. In Outer La Nocia, near the Hermit's Hovel, is a grove where the ringtails congregate. Pitting yourself against a host of the beasts would be a fine way to hone the skills that I will teach you. In the grove you will find another brazier, this time filled with a potent incense that will drive the creatures into a frenzy. Defeat your attackers and then return to me. So at this point I am not at all invested in the honor of the Sultan's Sworn. Like, why would I care? I have absolutely no loyalty to Ulda or the Sultana. Like, I like her. She's great, but... Oh, right. I'm back on Paladin and things are in a different place. Listen, if I have to pick a nation to be loyal to, it's Gridania. So... Like I said, I like Nanamo well enough, but you're asking me to restore the honor of the cops? Like, why? Maybe they deserved it. Oh yeah, they absolutely are. But that's why I said if I was gonna have loyalty to one of them. I mean, they're what? The Secret Service? Like, why do I care? Well done. You've taken the skills I taught you and made them your own. I still do not have word of where the traitor is hiding, but I will inform you the moment I do. Until then, continue your training. That's, you know, I think a lot of us are partial to wherever we started, you know? Welcome, Paladin. You should know that word of your deeds has reached me. Few are those who follow the true Paladin path without misstep, but you are one of them. I am proud to call you brother. You've kept the faith, and in return I must have faith in you. It is time that you knew the truth, though it is hard to share, for it is a shame I would keep hidden from outsiders. Perhaps you remember when I told you of the traitor and the sword Oathkeeper that he stole. His name is Sorry, I hate these names. Sulkzagil, and he was my predecessor as captain of the Sultan's Sworn Elite. Yes, he was the same man whom I admired as a child, who inspired me to take up the sword and follow the way of the Paladin. He was the paragon of paladins, until, that is, he changed. Some years ago now, there was a struggle for influence between the Sultanate military and a faction within the syndicate known as the Monetarists. The latter emerged triumphant, and the army's authority was diminished dramatically. Although Sulkzagil was still captain of the Sultan's Sworn Elite, he knew his position was perilous, so he fled, taking Oathkeeper with him. In doing so, he went against the words that he had spoken on bended knee before his royal liege. Now it falls to me as captain to restore the honor and name of the Sultan Sworn. If that means cutting down my former mentor and master, I would do it gladly, for his misdeed cannot be forgiven. But his death will not lift the stain that mars our name. He must be put on trial, in public court, so that everyone knows his crimes. Then and only then can we begin to earn the people's trust again. He served for over 30 years as captain of the Sultan's Sworn Elite, and he is a formidable foe. Few can match his skill with the sword. Even then, you and I will find it difficult to take him alive without mortal harm to one side or the other. So you must continue to hone your skills and prepare for the day we will face him. To complete the next stage of your training, you must do this. Go to the Ugram River in eastern Thanalan and find the brazier we have placed there. By lighting it, blah 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 blah. So yes, we are supposed to be restoring the honor of the cops. Or something. That's not where I want to be. There it is. And back to Genlands. Oh yes, something was stolen. We have to return the sword, Oathkeeper, that the former captain stole, so that we can restore the honor of the Sultan Sworn. Like, why do I care? The answer is I don't. Good, you've mastered your new skills and made them your own, but much work remains to be done before you can face the traitor. We are close to finding him, as our net draws tighter, it grows ever more important that we make ready for the moment when the fish must at last be landed. Wait, do I have? Huh, all right. Welcome, friend. I have important news for you. In my search for the traitor, I've been looking through old records and discovered something chilling. Around the time the traitor Solkzagil was named captain, several famed soldiers of the Sultan Sworn met with untimely deaths. But strangely, our records do not show how they died. Curious, I begged the favor of an old friend and received permission to inspect medical records kept by Frundale's phronistry. I discovered that the soldiers died in various ways, some in combat, some suddenly at night, in the barracks, but in nearly every case there were signs that poison had played a role in their demise. Yes, poison. Carefully and visibly administered. The more I read, the more I saw the dark hand of death's embrace at work. Assassins in the pay and service of the monetarists. A society so secretive that few believe it truly exists. Yeah, that's a good one. But no matter how skilled and devious the assassins, they should not have been able to kill so many of the Sultan Sworn elite without being discovered. Not, that is, without help from within our own ranks. So I asked myself, who had the most to gain from their deaths? One by one, the former captain, his trusted aides, the most capable of the Sultan Sworn who might become future commanders, all of them slain by an invisible hand, and with their deaths the way was open for Solkzagil to become the Sultan Sworn's youngest captain in a century. The monetarists were plotting to kill the best and bravest of the Sultan Sworn, to purge its ranks of greatness, and enervate it so that it could no longer carry out its duty to serve as sword and shield of the Sultanate. Which begs the question, how did Solkzagil remain captain for 30 long years? How did he avoid the poisoner's kiss when men better than him had succumbed? There can be only one explanation. He was the monetarist's cat's paw, the turncloak in our midst. Needless to say, I am more determined to track him down than ever before. While I continue my investigation, I have a trial for you. I want you to seek the gallant armor, the legendary raiments worn by generations of the finest soldiers of the Sultan Sworn. Yeah. You guys know how this goes. Let's see, let's start with them. Oop. I am being attacked by Sultan Sworn Elite. Let's just Whee! Oh, that's probably bad. Should maybe not have just jumped. What worked, Wraith? Oh, that's true. It was still maybe not the right idea. Oh, come on. It wouldn't have worked had I not been level 100 and doing this in New Game Plus. Alright, back to Genlands. I think we will likely finish out the ARR Paladin quests. And then call it a night. Good, the armor is yours. You have learned your lessons well and honed your skills, and now you are ready to face Solkzagil the traitor. Yes, the time has come. I have discovered his hiding place and made contact through emissaries. We are negotiating the return of Oathkeeper. Secrecy is crucial, as is preparation. We will leave only when you are ready. The recovery of Oathkeeper will be the first step in restoring the honor of the Sultan Sworn. I have told Solkzagil that if he returns the sword, we will give him a fair trial. Alright, good night, Gus. I will see you Wednesday. Otherwise, he shall be captured and thrown at the feet of the Sultana for judgment. The parley is to take place south of Forgotten Springs in the Sagoli Desert. Give me your map, and I will mark the location. While I believe he is acting alone, we must be prepared for anything. You may be certain that the Monetarists will not take kindly to his surrender. In fact, I believe that should the Monetarists discover Solkzagil is willing to parley, they will surely intervene. Therefore, we must not speak of what we do, not to anyone. We should travel separately, so as not to attract attention. We shall meet again at the parley. And I'm now getting the first maintenance warning for an hour from now. Good thing I don't stream that late. Oh, hey, it's my Hades Glaber. Right, Wraith? Like, buddy. Buddy. He's so naive. So you dared to come. You are a brazen one, I will grant you that. But did you really think I wouldn't find out? Come, confess. My allies within the Sultan Sworn have told me the truth. I know you're working in league with the traitor and the Monetarists. What? Confess, with your dying breath you will tell me where I can find Oathkeeper and the traitor who stole it. Do you dare accuse my own Sultan Sworn of lying? We are comrades in arms, every one of us, bound in brotherhood by our oath. I would trust them with my life. What is your word when set against theirs? We know the meaning of honor, buddy. You're a naive fool. I suspected you from the beginning, ever since you showed me the soul of the paladin that the traitor Solxagil gave you. You were, no matter how briefly, a paladin, and as such you are bound by a code of honor that is as unforgiving as it is noble. Traitor, I sentence you to death, and decree that your body shall lie here and feed the crows. Buddy. You know, of all the buttons to stop working, one is probably the best, because I use it all the time. And that means that it's easier to remember that it's broken. You cannot do this. I am the greater swordsman. You're superior in every way. Buddy, you really aren't. You were blinded, Genlins, by your own conviction. Genlins, remember your own lesson. A paladin does not exist to defend his position or the honor of his fellow Sultansworn. Those men were assassins, in service to the monetarists. The moment you outlived your usefulness, you were to be killed. You and this free paladin of yours. Liar! You're their agent! You betrayed us for them! You were always naive, Genlins. Too willing to trust your fellow man. It's one of your virtues, but you have a deplorable habit of turning virtues into vices. Think. The information you uncovered, how did you come by it? Did it fall into your lap as if, oh, I don't know, someone is feeding it to you for their own purposes? You and the paladins under your command are the monetarists' lapdogs. Genlins, you've been led a merry dance and followed their lead at every step. Then you were never a traitor? You were innocent? I have wronged you. So we went from we must restore the honor of the Sultansworn to this. Easy now. Your wounds aren't mortal, but you still need to rest. I'll take care of the captain. He's had worse, and we'll have him back on his feet soon enough. You've become a fine warrior and learned all there is to know about the way of the paladin. I think perhaps you are not aware just how much you've grown. 'Tis time you were made aware, paladin. When the captain's recovered, keep an eye on him for me, will you? He needs someone like you to watch his back. So one last quest for ARR. And you'd think that, like, this twist here would make the quests more interesting, maybe, but it's still ultimately about the honor of the Sultansworn. Paladin, I've done you a great wrong. I allowed myself to be hoodwinked, accused you of treason, and even turned my sword against you. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. As for me, yes, I am recovered from my wounds, at least those that will heal. But far more important than that, Solxagil is innocent after all. He was never a traitor, and the dream that I followed in my youth was not a lie. I remain captain of the elite, although a poor substitute for my predecessor. I'm now working on a plan to strike back at the monetarists and restore the Sultansworn to its former strength. No, do not be afraid for me. We've unmasked the foe, and he cannot hide behind his deceptions anymore. The assassins won't find it easy to reach me. Buddy, you are standing in a public place. Anyway, for now I will bide my time, marshal my strength, and when the time is ripe, strike hard at our enemies. Yeah, it does not. This doesn't actually make it more interesting. It's like, oh, okay. Turns out. Welcome, Paladin. I'd hoped to see you before I left. You remained a true friend, even after the wrongs I did to you, and I owe you my trust, so I will tell you everything I have learned. After our encounter in the hills, I spent some time in the care of Solxagil, recovering from my wounds. As I convalesced, he gave me the true account of what happened these last few years in his solitary war against the Monetarists. After he went into hiding, he tried to get word to me about what was happening, but I was surrounded by agents in the pay of the Monetarists who kept me isolated and ignorant. They planted the lie that Solxagil was a traitor, and tricked me into tracking him down. I was their puppet, twitching obediently at the end of the strings they pulled. But when I discovered that Death's Embrace had been behind the demise of my brothers and sisters, they panicked, especially when they found out I had shared the information with you. They set a trap for us and baited it with the promise of a parley with Solxagil. Solxagil was no traitor, as I should well have known, but I allowed myself to be deceived by the whispers of mummers and flatterers, and no, that was not the way of it. It was not their lies that made me blind, but my desire, nay, obsession, to restore our honor. For the Sultan Sworn and all paladins who have bent the knee to a higher cause, honor is a means to an end, not the end itself. I lost sight of that, and in so doing lost sight of my true duty. Solxagil understood what was happening, and that is why he gave you the soul of the paladin. It was a remonstration, a message. Look how adventurers live, he was telling me. Where does their honor, their authority, come from? I owe my position to the machinations of the Monetarists. They calculated that a young captain, eager to prove his loyalty, bound by unquestioning fealty, would be all the easier to control. And they were right. I am a sham and a fake. But the world does not know that, and even the illusion of power is a power of sorts. I can use it to fight back. I will tell my subordinates that I'm fleeing to Snowcloak in Kurthus. When the Monetarists hear of this, as they surely will, they will send assassins after me again. When they show their hand, I will stand my ground and fight back. I realize you may wish to offer your assistance. However, I cannot in good conscience put you in harm's way any more. You too have become a target of the Cabal's assassins. The odds will be against me, that much is certain, but Solxagil has taught me much, and if I am brave and vigilant, I know I can triumph. I'm sorry you've been caught up in our own political struggles, but now, as a paladin, it is time you traveled your own path. Ah yes, Solxagil wished to have a word with you as well. You'll find him in central Thanalan. Allow me to mark the location on your map. Did you mean to type that in chat, Wraith? Hi, Ditto. That's really pretty hair. Anyway. Oh, I forgot I have this now. I am very fond of this mount. Thank you for coming, Evan. We haven't much time, so I'll be blunt. Genlins will die if he faces Death's Embrace alone. I know what I must do, and I suspect you do as well. If you're the man I believe you to be, then we shall meet again soon. Where? Okay. Just making sure I'm actually following where I need to go on the map and not just blindly flying towards an arrow. Yeah, here's hoping, Wraith. I don't know how many people are watching, but yeah. Hopefully, once I'm done with fighting, we'll be... Alright. Sorry I'm late, guys. You as well. I told you to go to ground. This isn't your fight. First sulks a gill, and now you. Are you both so eager to die? You forget that we are paladins. Wheresoever our duty leads us, we go, and do so of our own free will. To abide by one's own sense of justice is to embrace the paladin's creed. Sworn or unsworn, we are paladins true, and the only true oath we swear is the one we swear to ourselves. Is that what this is about? Is that what this means? Now come, let us stand shoulder to shoulder and show the Blackhearts the metal of our souls and the steel of our swords. The last time I did this, I was in the Fall Guys hoodie and the 2B boots, so I'm not sure if this is an improvement or not. Why we're facing an ogre and a void scent, I don't know. Of course it's a trap. I don't actually remember where I need to go, but I'm gonna go this way. Well, that looks like something. Straight blade. Sorry. It pulses with a queer light. Is this another leaflet? Where are we going? Ah, there it is. Let's go ahead and fight this one. Come on. You've done well. You never flinched from your duty, you followed the path you knew you had to take, and you showed us what it means to be a paladin. See, that moment just makes it look like this was all a test? I don't know. And you even managed to prize the scales from Genlin's eyes while you were at it. It's been an honor to know you and watch you grow. In any case, today's battle should blunt the monetarist's dagger, at least for a while. They'll think twice before sending assassins after the Sultan Sworn again. I trust you will see to this mess, Genlins? Yes, sir. I mean, Captain, please, sir, return to the capital. Take up your command again. The burden, it's too much for the likes of me. The monetarists may have stolen Oathkeeper, but oaths are not forged in steel. They are sworn in the heart. You never betrayed your oaths, Genlins. And as for your leadership, well, ask this paladin if he learned anything from you. No. No matter what the circumstances, once a man has left the Sultan Sworn, he cannot return. No, I followed my own path, and on it I will stay. I have followed you since the day I vowed to join the ranks of the Sultan Sworn. Has the time come for me to stop following and begin to lead? What I've learned from him is that he is stupid. Thank you for coming. Once again, you've placed me in your debt. See me in the city when you return. I will have something for you. I'd like to point out that he is in fact wearing booty shorts and thigh-high boots. And that in that fight he was Genlin's straight blade. Yeah. Alright, so we have finished the ARR Paladin quests. We'll obviously tie it up. And at this point, I was like, okay, that was dumb, but, like, I don't understand why so many people say it's so bad. Like, I just don't care, right? So, join us next time for the Heavensward quest. And you will understand why everyone says they're the worst. And by next time, I mean Friday. Wednesday, we'll be doing static things. Welcome, Paladin. These have been troubled times for the Sultan Sworn, and you have served us loyally. I'm not serving anyone, bitch. You did what was just, followed the Paladin way, and defended the weak and needy. You are a true Oathkeeper. Who did I defend? I defended the stupid, because I was defending you. Honor and right were yours from the very beginning, and that is what made you strong. Strong enough to defeat me. Buddy, you are weak. The sword Oathkeeper has yet to be found, but I have come to realize that I do not need it. Nay, to lead the Sultan Sworn, not to lead the Sultan Sworn, nor to restore to our good name. The oaths we keep are in our hearts, not in hallowed blades. Solxagil is left to wander the nations of Eorzea. He is a man of honor, and unless I am very much mistaken, he will continue to look for the sword that was gifted by our ruler centuries ago. I shall continue to serve Ul'dah as one of the Sultan Sworn. You shall defend the people of Eorzea as a free paladin. Our paths diverge now, but we shall forever be bound by the oaths we keep in our hearts. Ah, but listen to me. Noble words aren't much good to an adventurer who has to face monsters and menaces out in the real world. Fortunately, I have something that will serve you rather better. It's true, more than just Eorzea. It'll still be Eorzea for a little while. This sacred armor has been kept within the Sultan Sworn for many generations. It was given only to those Sultan Sworn who had, through feats of arms and deeds of great courage, earned the privilege to wear it. But something tells me that for the first time since it left the armorer's forge, this armor will go to someone who is not of the Sultan Sworn. If I am allowed to be a slave, If I allowed myself to be a slave to tradition, a paladin who deserves it the most would never wear it. Now, wouldn't that be a waste of fine plate? Just one thing. If anyone asks where you got it, you mustn't say it was me. So yeah, that's the base game paladin questline. It's at best boring. Like, I don't care. I didn't care, and then there was a twist, and that didn't make me care. Um, like, I'm way more invested in whatever Aldous and Milla have going on in the Gladiator quest line than I was in anything that happened in the Paladin quests. And it gets worse. It gets so much stupider. But we will save that for later in the week, because it is time now for us to raid out, and hopefully I can get my my mouse fucking working again before raid on Wednesday. I will continue to be playing Final Fantasy XIV for the next 2 weeks, which will give you all an opportunity to get the in-game mount that comes from buying 3 gift subs. For the moment, let's see, who do we want to go see? I feel like I've rated Notice recently, but I also am just going to go watch Notice. So let's go over there. Give Notice some love. She is going to be starting Shadowbringers this weekend. So, you know, careful of spoilers when you get in there, but she's a delight, a lot of fun to watch. And we're going to go over there, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye!